All right, well, let's talk about a team that has really been up and down all season long. They got up to the 5th in the Eastern Conference at one point. Now they're starting to slide down again after a horrendous start, Billy. That's the Indiana Pacers. They're taking on the Detroit Pistons. Well, the Pacers on a 6-game winning streak, that was just recently snapped. They had a winning streak. It was snapped on Tuesday by those Cavaliers that we just talked about, but they still have a 4-game road winning streak as they head to Motor City to take on the Pistons. Halliburton did not play on Tuesday. So in that case, Pascal Siakam led the team with 23 points, 7 rebounds. Pacers are 7-3 in their last 10 games, averaging about 117 points per game. Both Halliburton and Nesmith are game time decisions. Cool thing about Nesmith, he hasn't played since November 1st, and he could be playing finally tonight. Detroit, I'm excited to see Cade Cunningham, man. I think he's a star in the making. I am absolutely ecstatic. He better be an all-star. He better be the first Detroit Piston all-star, I think, since Ben Wallace. I think it's actually Blake Griffin. But regardless, it's been a very long time since the Pistons have had an all-star. Take me through this one. Where are you leaning between the Pacers and the Pistons?
I'll tell you right now, Andrew Nembhard is going to be dropping dimes like a DJ at the club. Okay. Detroit's defense isn't ready. We can get into that. So the Pacers are heading to Detroit. Okay. Detroit's got the home field advantage here. It's going to be a tight matchup, though. Thin money line, thin spread, kind of paltry over-under, but Detroit's money line is sitting at minus 142. Indiana plus 120 dogs. And that spread, again, 2.5 points. May as well not even be there. Over-under 225.5. That feels like a grinded out game to me. So Detroit, they've been solid defensively, but Indiana's pace and their offensive efficiency makes them dangerous. They're not out of any game. So I am leaning towards Detroit to win, but the spread and total, they don't really scream value to me. So the real play is in the props. All right. And my best play of the night for props is going to be the over on assists. And you know what? We can find that threshold right now. But I'm talking about Andrew Nembhard. He is poised to rack up dimes against this struggling backcourt from Detroit. And you know, just so, where's he starting at? Let's look at Nembhard. You know, it shouldn't be a crazy number for him because it's not like he's not the most volatile guy. But if we're looking at assists, this guy averages 5 assists per game. And his upper threshold is going to be 5.5. And I'm willing to bet that they're going to start out at 4.5 assists. And I will slam the over on that so fast when I see it. That's, to me, that is an absolute given. 4.5 assists. We should look at his game log, but it's probably going to start, if his average is 5, it's going to start probably around 4.5. And because of the thin spread, they might move that up to 5.5 during the course of the day. That's just how the lines kind of work. But with that thin of a spread, he's going to get a lot of minutes. He averages in the neighborhood of he averages like 28 minutes a game, and he's looking like he might have a bit of an uptick because, you know, the injuries we talked about. But man, this is a prime spot for me. I'm playing it as high as 5.5. But if it's at 4.5 where I think it's going to be, I'm slamming it.
I love it. I'm still excited for Cade Cunningham. I know that we really focus on the Pacers here, but he had 24 in his last game against the Pacers earlier this season and averaging 24.5 all season long. I know you haven't put any props in for Cade Cunningham, but man, how can you not be excited for this guy? 32 points he scored in 4 of his last 6 games. 32 points or more, I should say, in 4 of his last 6 games. This guy is an absolute treat. If we get Halliburton playing against Cade Cunningham, those are one of the most electric basketball players in the league going at it. I'm curious to see if we'll get him at least 100%. So maybe we'll get Halliburton 100%. Maybe we won't even get him at all, but I'm curious to see if we'll get that.
It's funny you say that because I'm looking at projected minutes right now on multiple sites, and Halliburton's nowhere to be found. He is technically listed as a game time decision on the injury report, but he has no projected minutes. So it's looking like the inside fellas are saying he's probably not going to be available.
Yeah, and then we'll find out what happens at Nesmith. But if it's his first game back since November, I'm doubting it's going to be any type of super productive minutes if he does get that type of play. We'll see. Let us know in the comment description below. What do you think about this game? Because it's going to be a fun one. I want to see what the Pacers can do. After starting dreadful, getting all the way up to the 5th seed, I know they fell back a little bit. This can be a team that I think once February 6th rolls around and the trade deadline hits, they could make an impactful trade that really changes the whole landscape of the Eastern Conference. So these games mean a lot. And the Pistons, I mean, they're not a team that's just going to be selling anymore. I think we've seen them change their whole landscape just with some of these young players like a Cade Cunningham as well.